Wait for it. Boom! So dramatic when you adjust the aperture. There has never been a more technologically advanced time in the world of cycling, and this bicycle has absolutely nothing to do with any of that. This is a 1995 Bianchi Campione d'Italia in Celeste Green, which in my opinion is the only color that any bike should ever be made in. It is a full steel frame road bike with old-ass Ultegra 6600 components, and everything on this bike is either steel or aluminum. There's not a single bit of carbon fiber on it. It will never see a power meter, and it will never have a GPS head unit attached to it. The most modern component on it is a threadless stem adapter. Right there, boom, made by Zoom. It's chrome, it's steel, it's actually really cool, and it replaces this pile of garbage, which is not even original to the bike. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to install these things. First, you take off that top bolt and then the weird wedge nut that goes inside that little split piece of steel, and you pull that whole pile of garbage out. Then you're going to remove the bearings. There they are. You're going to clean out all the grease. You're going to repack it with delicious looking green park grease, and you're going to place it right back down on that bearing race. And then you're going to take your top cap, you're going to fiddle with it for a minute, and you're going to crank it down right there with some wrenches, some open end wrenches. You're going to get the channel locks out. You're going to crank it. You're going to twist that wheel to make sure it actually floats around. It's nice and smooth. Then you're going to forget that a keyed lock ring goes in there, and you're going to fiddle with it. You're going to mess with it. You all of a sudden forgot how to use your hands. Go on, get it. Did you get it? Is it in there? Come on. There it goes. Now crank it. Crank that shit. Oh, I forgot. Open it. Open it and get it on there, you big dummy. All right. Now right here, you could be using something like a Park tool, like 1-inch threaded headset tool set with the flat wrenches to hold one and then tighten the other. I don't like to do that. I like to crank all that shit down, then pick up the bike and swivel the fork back and forth. All right, there's a close-up of the Zoom stem, nice and chrome and shiny, and there's a picture of the actual wedged mechanism that when you tighten the top cap, wedges inside that fork and gets everything nice and tight. Right there you can see it slides right into a modern stem. You can adjust your stem length and your handlebars. You can adjust all that stuff with this modern adapter. So you're just going to pop it in place, just like that. Then you're going to tighten that top cap. What this does, it actually wedges that stem adapter into place, forces it right in that fork, keeps it in place, and actually gives you a solid surface on which to mount your stem. And you're going to mount this stem just like you would any other stem. You're going to torque down the top, you're going to torque down the bottom, you're going to twist it around. You're going to make sure that you get these bars centered over everything. The handlebars are going to be centered with your seat post. You'll see right here in a second once you get everything cranked down and torqued, alternating from left to right, top and bottom, so nothing gets binded, nothing gets broken. You're just going to give it a little nudge and boom, straight, done. Next thing, let's talk about bottom brackets. Oh wait, that's okay, that's just art shot. And oh look, the little stem kind of tapers up. It's really cool looking. All right, let's talk about bottom brackets. Look at this big pile of garbage. So when I got this bike, I actually traded it for a kayak and something else and a pile of cash. I don't even know. But right here is the old-ass Campagnolo bottom bracket that came out of it. I'm not going to show you how to remove the old bottom bracket because I actually took this to my local bike shop to have them remove. I sat in my driveway with a blowtorch heating up the frame and discoloring the paint for way too long, and then I took it to the bike shop, and what they did was they ground out some flat spots to put a wrench on it because, you know, local bike shops also use channel locks, and then on the other side they used a Dremel tool to make it actually fit a different type of bottom bracket tool to actually get some torque on there. This is actually a really nice bottom bracket, or it would have been. It's a square taper, it's very tight, but you can see that it's got a lot of rusting and corrosion and pitting on it. That's because the guy that I got this from used it as a stationary trainer, meaning all of his ball sweat and leg sweat went right into that bottom bracket and made it stick to the threads. But I fixed that because I put a new external bearing bottom bracket kit in this. That's right. This old ass frame has modern threading for an external bottom bracket. I'm not even going to show you how to install it because it's so easy to install and uninstall. So here's your dust cap cover. If you don't have one of those, you need to get one because dust caps are actually very important. I'm just going to show you how this actually all comes out. You can see over there on the right where the local bike shop actually took a hammer to a wrench and bashed up my frame. I'm not even mad. It's kind of cool. It's a cool story. Oh, look how easy that Holotech arm came off. I wasn't even talking about it. Hey, here's a trick. Take that dust cap cover, this one, that one, stick it in the end of that hollow tube right there, and then push it out. Boom, you don't have to touch any chain rings, get grease on you or anything. Then it just flies right out of there. Now, you're going to take your bottom bracket tool, and you're going to torque it to the appropriate angle, which means you're going to turn it righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. You know what I'm talking about. Here it comes. Threads out nicely. This is actually the part that I was most worried about in this entire build. I thought for sure I was going to have these threads chased again, rethreaded. Oh, what kind of bottom bracket? It's a race face mountain bottom bracket from 2006. Doesn't matter. Look at actually inside there how clean those threads are. All right, let's put it all back together. Put your turbo arms on, get that threaded in there. Now you're going to torque it back down righty-tighty, and watch this little trick. You're just going to put your crank arm on there. In order to seat this properly, remember how I said that dust cap was actually important? Get it on in there, tighten it down, and this actually cinches the arm onto the bottom bracket. Ultegra is now in focus. And they're just going to tighten everything back. Now I'm going to take a moment to actually talk to you for a second about this whole setup. So this is an older road frame, steel road frame bottom bracket. It's a 68 millimeter shell, English threading, and yes, the external bottom brackets fit in there nicely. Now, I did use a mountain bottom bracket because I didn't really know what I would need. This happened to work very well because it came with spacers, and I was able to adjust my drive line using those spacers because mountain bikes usually have a wider bottom bracket shell. Anyway, there they are in place. Beautiful crank arms. They're that sort of smoke shadowy thing. And then, of course, here you can see, oh, look at that. It's even got a new cable routing plastic thing that is blue. All right, let's talk about these wheels. These are also mountain bike hubs, which I didn't know was a thing. These are Fisher control, it doesn't matter. They're bladed spokes, and they actually sit really close to the forks. It kind of sketches me out if I'm leaning into a turn. I'm sort of worried that they're going to catch and I'm going to go flying over the handlebars. But I admit, these hub flanges look really cool. They've got some little holes in them. They look like almost like bullet holes. The other thing that I love about this bike is all the little architectural details. You got little bridges in the chainstays. You got a little weird little cone up on the head tube. And here you've got your brake bridge right there, and it's arched for absolutely no damn reason. And look at that. Even the water bottle cages are green and yellow, and even the head badge is pretty, and it's weight savings. It's not even metal, it's a sticker. And God, just look at it in that light. Listen, if you're not riding a steel frame and you need something gravel-based, you're an idiot.